There ain't no future unless we build it now. Unless we build it now. United States, Africa, we salute ya. A new state of mind, I introduce ya. Close your eyes and visualize the rise of a new paradigm. Solar powered skyscrapers.
Welcome to the Africa Must Unite podcast, a podcast dedicated to inspiring African people worldwide to rise up, organize, and struggle for Pan-Africanism, a unified, liberated, socialist Africa, the only permanent solution to the exploitation and oppression of African people, no matter where they happen to be born or happen to live in the world. Now please, welcome the hosts of Africa Must Unite.
Africa's future is now, so get ready.
Greetings, I'm Brother Maurice.
And I'm Brother Tokes.
This is the Africa Must Unite podcast, and we are the Pan-African Revolutionary Socialist Party, PRSP.
Great. And what we would like to do is begin by looking at some details of our calendar. You know, we do an annual calendar, and the theme for this year is a unified socialist Africa is not only possible, but it's coming. And for the month of July, we have a sub-theme. That sub-theme is African Youth Positive Motion. And if you don't mind, I'd like to highlight a few dates, with some dates for the month of July. We encourage everyone to get a copy of this calendar, on these calendars that we produce every year. But let's begin by, on July 1st, Kwame Nkrumah became the first president of the Republic of Ghana. It was in 1960. He was prime minister in 1957, but 1960 Ghana became a republic. July 1st, and he became the first president. Also, July 2nd, Patrice Lumumba was born in 1925. One of the most outstanding Pan-Africans there ever was, from, of course, Congo, who was, of course, murdered with the help of imperialist CIA operatives. Then on July 3rd, we have one of our party members, one of the founders of the Pan-African Revolutionary Socialist Party. That's Brother Ahmed Fletcher Mbalia. He unfortunately passed 10 years ago in 2017. And if you knew Brother Ahmed, you know he's just pure inspiration, pure activity, always organizing. All his adult life is just organizing for our people. And very unfortunate, we lost him 10 years ago in 2017, sorry. Then we have on July 9th, Daniel Hale Williams, the African who performed the first successful open heart surgery in 1893 on this day, July 9th. It's a major breakthrough for heart treatments. On July 14th, we have Denmark Vesey. I'm not sure if it's Vesey or Vesey. He was planning a major slave rebellion in Charleston, South Carolina. And it was a major, it would have been a major event, but some Uncle Tom, I believe, was involved in exposing the plan, and it never took off, but it was a major plan, and it put fear in the slave owners. And it wasn't long after that, I was in July 14th, 1822, that the abolitionist movement just took off, and before you knew it, they were forced to pass the Emancipation Proclamation. On July 16th, Ida B. Wells was born in 1862. She was a very famous, she's an icon. She's an African freedom fighter at the time when they were lynching Africans left, right, and center. And she was a major anti-lynching crusader. She was a journalist and used to chronicle all the violence and aggression directed against Africans. And she was in Mississippi, had to leave Mississippi because of the threat to her life, and eventually moved to Chicago. But she continued her battles, and she even was a colleague of Marcus Garvey. She was born in 18 1893, but she passed in 1931. So she was a comrade, a colleague with Marcus Garvey. Then we see, I would like to bring out maybe July 25th. Emmett Till, of course, a 14-year-old African, murdered brutally in Mississippi. He was born in 1941, but we all know he was one of the major sparks to the civil rights movement. And lastly, I'll talk about, I'll bring to your attention Amy Jacques Garvey. She passed in 1973 on this date, 25th July. She was I believe, the second wife of Marcus Garvey, but a major Pan-African figure in her own right. And she, long after Marcus Garvey was railroaded to prison, she continued to battle. In fact, when he was in prison, she compiled all the speeches and documents and put it in the book Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey. She used that to raise money for his trial. So those are just some, Maurice, of the dates that I think are worth our attention.
Yeah, it's a tough follow-up for those powerful dates that you just shared in the month of July. I'm going to just add to that by reading a description that we have laid out there for the theme of this month in our calendar. Like you pointed out, the African youth's positive motion. Today we see a generation rising up throughout global Africa, selflessly fighting against exploitation and oppression, and for their people's liberation, who follow the examples of those warriors who preceded them: Josina Machel of Mozambique, Fred Hampton of the Black Panther Party, Steve Biko of the Black Consciousness Movement, and Ruby Doris Smith-Robinson of the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, also known as SNCC. Today's youth, from the Democratic Republic of the Congo to Tanzania to those of Kenya, are playing their historic role as the spark of the African Revolution. One Kenyan youth expressed, quote unquote, "We are seeing our opposition and government sitting together and telling us they want to talk. It means the country is not asleep anymore. We are an educated class of jobless youth," end quote. African youth are expressing that they are leaderless, and for the first time, their agitation goes beyond historic ethnic divisions. They also do not subscribe to any political party affiliations. These are seeds to build our youth into an Nkrumah's cadre. As Nkrumah stated, quote unquote, "The core of the Black Revolution is in Africa, and until Africa is united under a socialist government, the black man throughout the world lacks a national home," end quote. What do you think about that powerful quote from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Brother Tokes?
Oh, it's a classic. It's so it's timeless. It's timeless, and it's something the whole African world globally should understand and practice. It's a very, very powerful quote, and from a very powerful book, Class Struggle in Africa.
Indeed.
So,
indeed.
Well, Maurice, I'd like to ask you, in what ways do you see positive motion among African youth all over the world today?
Yes, Brother Tokes. As we see today, Africa is experiencing a resurgence of fearless leadership in the spirit of powerful leaders of the past, like we just pointed out, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou Touré, Thomas Sankara, Steve Biko, and Amilcar Cabral. Brother Tokes, as we look at like Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and the Alliance of Sahel, the AES, is encouraging more youth to be active. And in fact, Tokes, you have mentioned a recent example of Traore's visit to Ghana and what it meant to youth. Speaking of the AES, yeah, you want to speak to that a little bit?
No, I was just saying you're right. You're correct. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yes. So, and Tokes, speaking of the AES, they are requesting all Pan-Africanists and progressive forces to organize anti-imperialist demonstrations, basically embarrassing imperialist powers, as Nkrumah stated in a letter to Brother James and Sister Grace Boggs, stating, "What Africans in America should be doing is, quote unquote, embarrassing the United States power structure, and so help to weaken its oppression and exploitation overseas, end quote. By doing this, this shows this shows there is a youth-driven Pan-African shift growing on the continent. Along with that, Africa has the youngest population in the world, with 70% of sub-Saharan Africa being under 30 years old. 53 million youth are unemployed, according to the United Nations International Labor Organization. A 2024 survey showed that 5,600 African youth aged between 18 and 25 years old across 13 countries in Africa stated that they are concerned about corruption, government, private sectors, and the police, which all represent components of neo-colonialism. In 2024, youth, and currently now in 2025, youth are still protesting in Kenya, Ghana, Uganda, Nigeria, and Mozambique against these same concerns. Marithi Matiga, Program Director for Africa for the International Crisis Group, stated, quote unquote, the young are more informed and are more politically active on the continent. Ronaldo Antonio, a 25-year-old street vendor from Mozambique, stated, we eat chicken feet and chicken necks while government officials are eating their chickens. Okay? And so, I know, right? And so just want to point out some more information. Another Mozambique youth, Angelo do Razorio, stated he used his 1.2 million Facebook followers and more than 300,000 TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube followers to inspire Mozambique youth to speak up for their rights. This shows right here how African youth are using social media on the continent to mobilize and organize. The United Nations also sees the positive movement of African youth by stating their urgency of involving young people in politics, giving them a seat at the table, and society is not merely a question of inclusion, but one that is vital for economic youth. Toast, what do you think of what they mean when they talk about economic youth, the United Nations?
Yeah, I think, in fact, Troy is showing what it really means, economic growth. Because when you talk about growth, it's two aspects. There's quantitative growth and qualitative growth. But I think in this sense, we're talking mostly about qualitative growth. And so when you talk about qualitative growth, you're talking about development. And with development, we're talking about adding value. That's what Traore is doing. We have mineral resources, we have agricultural products, but we add very little value. And so this is what we have to do. And by adding value, it means manufacturing, industry. There's cotton is a nice thing. We have it in Mali, Burkina Faso. Cotton is nice. It's nice and fuzzy. It feels nice. It's pretty to look at. But it's clothes. That's what matters. That's what you add in value. You provide in jobs, manufacturing, industry. It has use value. When you export that, you're exporting use value. It's the same with tomatoes. I'm looking at a tomato can right now, a tomato sauce can right now. In Ghana, tomatoes are grown everywhere. But yet we import this can of tomato sauce I'm looking at right now is from Italy. Believe it, from Italy. Now, who can't grow tomatoes? Wow. But yet we importing tomato sauce and depriving our tomato farmers with a market. And so there are so many tomatoes just rot, in Ghana because we don't have tomatoes of sauce factories. And so it's across the line. Ghana grows very delicious beans, coffee beans, but we importing. I'm looking at a container right here, coffee beans from Germany. It's a company that's called Cafe Bar. You can go online and see it from Germany. It's coffee beans, but we have coffee beans, but the bean itself is of little value. It's the coffee. So this is when we talk about economic growth. I'm sure it's the qualitative aspect that we're most concerned with.
And as you were speaking, it made me think about the data that was pointed out by Nkrumah in Africa Must Unite, another classic book, and he puts emphasis on industrialization. It just shows, the importance, man.
Yeah. So let me ask Maurice also, what are the major negative forces affecting African youth today on the continent and in the diaspora? What are some? Right.
Okay. Yes. I would just point out some. So basically, we gotta, keep an eye on what Nkrumah stated, because it still resonates today. And Nkrumah stated that some of the major negative forces are African youth not being in formations like the Young Pioneer formations of Pan-African Revolutionary Socialist Organization, similar to our organization, PRSP, where they can become politically educated about class struggle and learn how to eliminate the other negative forces, such as the balkanization of the African continent created by colonizers and serves as the major instrument of neocolonialism, as Nkrumah pointed out. These negative forces are capitalist white supremacists like yours truly, or yours unfortunately, Donald Trump, stating that African land, black land, belongs to settler colonists when the means and modes of production should be controlled by the African masses, which will eliminate all these things of unemployment and poverty and dependence on exploitative forces. So,
yep, I agree. That's 100%. That's excellent analysis. I would add also the media, of course, the Western media, BBC, and all these other CNN. They directing our youth, the schools, the Western-dominated curriculum. And then, of course, there's a very aggressive recruitment of African youth, skilled African youth being taken from the continent. That's people in chemical engineering and all. Of course, the medical doctors, nurses, lab technicians. It's a very aggressive thing. They send people here to and they pay them they pay them per recruit they can take and send away. And so it's also a very negative obstacle to our youth. Go ahead.
I was just going to add to your point. So we still seeing that brain drain, as you alluded to, what Walter Rodney talked about, and how you have underdeveloped Africa.
Exactly. That brain drain is no joke. It's no joke. How do you develop a continent with all the skilled personnel, men and women, leaving at such large numbers? It's unbelievable. Yeah. So then, all throughout 2025, times with help from invited guests, our focus will be on the 2025 theme of our calendar. A unified socialist Africa is not only possible, it's coming.
So join us next month when we will discuss positive revolutionary motions throughout the world, Europe.
And meanwhile, visit our website. That's Pan-African Revolutionary Socialist Party.org. You can email us at panafricanrsp@gmail.com, or you can like us on soundcloud.com and visit us on YouTube.
And remember, organization is the key. Let me say that again, because this is important. Organization is the key. Join us, the Pan-African Revolutionary Socialist Party, or some other revolutionary Pan-African socialist organization. A union of African socialist states is on the horizon.
Exactly.
The moral of the story is, I want for my brother what I want for myself. You know what I'm saying? Good. there's enough for two. It starts with me and it starts with you. It's complicated, but it's simple too. Just like patience, sharing is a virtue. Show folks where you stand. Lend a hand when you can to your fellow man. Over plan for the day when you can't work the way you used to. I want all my people around me. Everybody living good. Everybody eating good. Everybody chilling. I want all my people around me. Everybody eating good. That's right. Everybody eating good. I want from my brother what I want from myself. I want from my sis what I want from my mother. Was an undercover thugger trying to get to the wealth, to the thug life. Put my brother undercover. Now one of us gotta be around for the love of her. Turn my life around, now I spread love to others. I'm the one serving you facts, was the one serving you butters. Please be mindful with some Judas and some mothers. Let's go. All my people.